Hi, good morning. It's Mr. Russo here, your summer eClass principal. Just wanted to welcome you all again. This is our fourth support session, or third rather. This is just an opportunity for me to introduce myself and to answer any questions that you may have. So let's just make sure that the chat area is open, and it is open, but I will be, okay, there we go, monitoring both the chat area and any other questions you may have that come through the chat area. We can actually highlight some of the questions that were shared yesterday during our two sessions. So I'm going to share my screen and go and view those questions with you. Good morning. Okay, so I'm just going to go into the questions that were shared or asked by students who participated in the chat area during yesterday's sessions, and I didn't review those with everyone, so I will go in and do that now. In the meantime, if you have a question, please, if you've logged in and want to populate it in the chat area, I will review them shortly. I think this is it. Let's take a look. By the way, can everyone hear me okay? Can I get a yes? Okay. Thank you, Dan. So in terms of questions, this can almost turn into like a frequently asked question. Thank you all for jumping in. So I need help with my summer school registration. That's just something you can send me an email and I will assist. My email, I will include my email here in the chat area. Okay, so my email is in the chat area. Okay, Antonio, I noticed that you said where you asked, how do I find my assignment? So very simply, what you have to do is when you're in your course, and I guess I'll cut to the course right now as an example. So I'm now logged in, and this is the e-learning site's homepage. And I'll just find my course by going into the waffle here. And let's pretend that this is the course. So I'll just choose my course here. Since it has 2018 SS in the title, then I know it's my summer school course. So assignments, there's a folder for each of your assignments. And how you would find your assignments is by going to the assignments icon here. And then once you're there, you'll notice that there are specific folders for each of the items that your teacher wants you to submit in terms of completed work. And I'll view the next step as a student so that I can show you what it looks like in terms of the screen when you have to upload your work. So I'll just select the course syllabus folder, and then I can just add a file. So if I'm submitting a file, I can just go onto my computer, hit upload, find the file, and then off you go. Okay, you add it, and then you hit submit. Okay, so I'm going to cancel that for now. The other thing that you should know about submitting your assignments is that once you've submitted your assignment, you should check your email, which could be found right up here along the top next to the title of the course. So this little envelope here indicates message alerts. So once you submit your assignments, you can check your email, because you'll have a notification there, which is a submission receipt, okay, of whatever it is you submitted to the assignments folder. Okay. A very common question was also related to the class list, and specifically how to locate your teacher. So in terms of your teacher, what you would do is you would check the class list, and whoever is assigned a role, so in this column here, of teacher would be your teacher. So in order to email them, just click on their name, and once you select their name, a window will open up, and it'll basically be a window for you to compose a message and send it off. Okay? And once your teacher receives that message, they will respond accordingly, and you can check your email for that response. Okay? Just going to go back to this list that was shared. And in the meantime, I'll also review the questions that have been posted through the chat area. So let me just check that out. Okay, so I'm just going to review here what you have been sharing in terms of questions. So Anonymous Yi, I have a problem. When I submitted my first assignment for the first unit, it's somehow sent to my teacher as the second assignment. What do I do? Very easy, because you've already identified that there's a problem, right? That you've made an error, or some kind of error happened when you've submitted your work, which is really the biggest challenge, is recognizing when you've made the mistake. So what you can do is just email your teacher and explain what happened, and then you can go from there. Okay. Dan, I noticed that some of the assignments we have to draw diagrams. How would I upload those? Is there a place for me to be able to draw those diagrams on the Dropbox and send it to my teacher? That's a great question. So in terms of the uploading of files, however it is that you draw your diagrams, whether you draw your diagrams by hand, and then you would scan it and then upload it as a file, as a PDF, or as a JPEG, or as a PNG file, I think the best course of action would be to ask your teacher, because they would be more familiar with the file formats that students have already been submitting, and also they probably are aware of compatibility issues around the types of files that you're sharing. So I would check in with them. Okay. My assignment folder only accepts 50 megabytes in terms of size of file. That's correct. So you're going to have to figure out how to not upload or how to generate files that are not significantly large, okay, in size. Will there be any assignments during the weekend? No. Summer eClass is just like regular face-to-face day school, where you're expected to be logging in daily and participating daily. In terms of the weekend, I'd like to think that we have the advantage of the weekend to be able to log in at any time, to be able to continue to, either catch up or possibly slightly go ahead in what it is that you're working on. And you also have that opportunity to upload your work, email your teacher. So you have that access all the time. That doesn't mean that your teacher will respond on the weekends, but it will allow the teacher to potentially check into the course and see what's coming in terms of questions, and help them understand the help that their students need going forward. So it doesn't hurt to check in daily. It doesn't hurt to pop in on the weekend. It is always accessible, but really in terms of the timing around due dates and keeping in touch with your teacher and getting timely feedback, that really is a partnership or a joint effort between you and your teacher, because the teachers need to know what you need help with, and they also could benefit from you saying or sharing that, you know, you work part-time, or I was hoping to get some feedback by 5 o'clock because I'm going to work at 6 o'clock. And, you know, if you, I'm not saying that they'll always be able to accommodate every scheduling ask of you, but the more information you share with them, the more they understand that you're balancing a lot of things as well. And so even though eClass is a priority for you, you also want to maximize that workflow between all the other things you're involved in and trying to do your best in this learning opportunity this summer. So that's a conversation again with your teacher through email, the chat function, or if you want to set up a phone call, just say, hey, Miss, Sir, can we set up a phone call to discuss things further? Okay. I'm just looking at the next question. My teacher is not responding to any of my questions or Gmails. Well, I don't know what to say. You can always email me, and then I can follow up with the teacher, you know, in case something is not happening there because of technical issues. So you can always send me an email. Just include the course that you're in and the name of the teacher as well. Dan, can you delete something after you put it in the Dropbox? That's a great question. I've never actually had to do that. My guess is yes. And if that isn't the case, then just send your teacher an email indicating that the first submission to that particular assignments folder you wanted to delete because you uploaded another file to that assignments folder, and that's the one that you want to be assessed. Okay. If you notice, folks, I'm taking a very casual approach because I also want you all to be very calm and to think when it comes to that, you know, that lack of proximity between you and your teacher, because you know, you're not in that same physical space as you would have been if you were in a classroom. So you have to think, you know, if there is a file I uploaded that is incorrect, what is the most common sort of sense approach? And the first thing would be to recognize that, you know, an error was made. The second thing would be to stay calm and communicate with your teacher, just like you would if you were in a day school class. Okay. And then the third thing is, if too much time goes by and you need any kind of support around a particular issue that you're concerned about, you can always contact me, and then I will try to work at, you know, helping you resolve what it is that you know, you're trying to correct, okay, or resolve. Okay, so I am a student from non-TCDSB. How would I get my username and password? So Blaze, thanks for that question. So if you're a non-Toronto Catholic student, your username is your OEN number. In terms of a password, we will issue you a password. So just contact myself or e-register, and we will follow up with a password. Okay? Kate, my assignment folder doesn't have spots for the assignments. It only has the fourth assignment, and that's it. So Kate, that could be something the teacher is not even aware of, or if it was accidentally closed in terms of other assignments folders that should still be open. So just send your teacher an email and explain your interpretation of the situation, and they will try to respond, okay, and resolve. Emily, I see my assignments. What format do you want me to complete it in, like an essay, brochure, or project? So Emily, as principal, I'd love to know everything about every single course and every activity, because I'd love to give you the answer to this. But the best and only course of action in terms of getting specific information like this would be for you to contact your teacher. Okay? Noah, if we're busy on the day of exams, are we able to reschedule or take it another day? So final exams for grade 12 university level courses are set for Friday, July the 27th. If there is a medical situation that requires an alternative date, you would have to follow up with me directly, and then we will include your teacher in the conversation. But there is no alternate date unless there are significant extenuating circumstances. And that would be, again, a conversation between myself, the student, parents, possibly guardians, to understand what the extenuating circumstances are. And then as long as we have enough time, we can try and set something up. But the date is fixed for session 1, which is Friday, July the 27th. Okay. My friend says that we don't have to do all the assignments. Is that depending on the teacher? So your teacher is, I would say majority, if not all teachers are have content that is set up that has been imported and shared by the Ministry of Education, who hires a whole bunch of certified teachers to create these wonderful courses that once imported into your teacher's course, your teacher has the opportunity to edit the course, add, withdraw. And so if you want to know exactly what needs to be done so that you're not potentially working on something that is not going to go towards your mark, you would have to clarify that with your teacher. I can't put out a blanket statement right now that says, pick and choose what assignments you want to do. You're going to have to get that clarity from your teacher. There is a course syllabus or information sheet that your teacher will have shared with you by now, which does outline what the expectations are around assignments and tasks, or maybe your teacher is going to be sharing that information on a week-by-week basis, just to help you understand how to keep up with the pace of the course. Okay, so contact your teacher for that information. Okay, more questions. Awesome questions, by the way, folks. Thank you. The literacy course is a grade 12 course, but my teacher says there's no exam. The exams that I was referring to a few minutes ago were the grade 12 university level exams. So in terms of the OLC course, there is no exam according to your teacher, and there could be a culminating task in place of that. Dan, will there be any tests happening during this course besides the final exams? Because I know that day schools have some tests before they do. Absolutely, there are tests, quizzes, assignments. But again, to better understand what evaluation items there are in your course, you'd have to speak with your teacher, right? So email them. On my screen, it does not show assignments. It shows Dropbox, and I cannot access it. Okay, so Antonio, follow up with your teacher about that. They may have renamed the icon from assignments to Dropbox. Okay, but thanks for picking up on that. Emily Rosalind, you are my teacher. What is your preference of format? Emily, I'm not your teacher. I am the principal of the program. So your teacher would be in your course. And as much as I'd like to be your teacher, I'm not assigned to any particular course in terms of teaching that course, because I set every single course up, and I know for certain that I'm not assigned to a course. Where do I go to speak with my teacher? Along the top of your e-learning site, when you log in, there's a little envelope icon. When you select that envelope, you have a choice to either chat with your teacher or to send them an email. Okay? No problem, Emily. It's all good. How do I contact you if I need help? I've already shared my email address, but I'll share it again in the chat area. I'm just typing it up right now. And email is always best for me. Okay. I sent an email in regards to changing a password that no longer works. it is my login password. So I'm going to transition to passwords, and I highlighted this in the past couple of sessions with all of you. And if you're joining for the first time or haven't had a chance to review prior recorded sessions, we are supporting quite a few last-minute registrations up until Friday, and we're doing our best to fill those remaining spots that we have. But in the meantime, in terms of requesting a password reset or your login information, please, if you can avoid from sending multiple emails to eRegister and myself, because it just clogs things up. And for example, the team and I this morning, we just briefly were talking, and it ended up that last night 3 of us reset the same password for the same student because the emails came in 3 times. So it just slows things down. So that's just a sidebar there in terms of advice going forward. So just to be clear, I'll repeat this again. The non-TCDSB students, your login information is a username of your OEN number. And then once you're registered and all your documentation is approved and gathered, we issue you a password. Okay. For non-Toronto Catholic students, if you're requiring a password reset, it's really important that when you email us, you have to include 3 things. You have to include your Toronto Catholic District School Board username. You also have to include your OEN number. And the last thing that you have to include is the name of your TCDSB day school that you attend during the year. It just helps us identify your location in the software that allows us to reset your password. So if you don't provide all of that information, then I'm just responding back to you to get that information, and we're delaying the process further. So please remember that, okay? By chance, can you show us how to use the instant message? For sure. Let's do that. Okay, so back in the course. So the instant message, I'm going to select the envelope along the top, and you'll notice that there's email and that there's instant message. Okay. The other way that you can actually instant message as well is if you want, in terms of convenience, you can go to class list. And once you're at the class list, you can select the person that you want to chat with, and then just select instant message. And then you'll notice that an instant message window appears, and you can say, hey, how's it going? Send. And that's it. Okay, did that help? So the instant message is pretty cool. Okay, thank you. I only sent 1 email, and it was to your email. I didn't put that information in the email I sent. So can I send 1 more email? Absolutely, absolutely, Emma, for sure. Okay. All right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to go back to being on camera. All right, just going to check the chat area again. Good morning, sir. I would like to know if I'm able to drop an online course and take it in school instead. Yeah, just send me an email and include your OEN number. You're welcome, Emma. And indicate the course that you're registered in and that you would like to withdraw, and then we can take care of that for you. In terms of taking it in day school, if it's summer school, day school, then you'd have to go in and you'd have to complete the registration process there. Okay? No problem, Trish. So I'm going to just review some of the questions that came in via the Google form that I shared. For those participants on the YouTube live sessions that weren't able to join in the chat area, I also shared a Google form, and people were able to ask questions without having to log into YouTube. So let's see here. Sir, I can't find my teacher. We kind of answered that already. How do you ask for a password request? Again, that would be through me. Will we get out homework? Will we get our homework assigned to us? Yes, by your teacher. My courses, I'll just try to make this a bit larger for you guys. Let's take a look here. There we go. Okay. My courses are not showing when I log into my account. How do I access my course? So again, follow up with us if that's still the case. But you know, things are catching up as we're registering students overnight. Files are being updated, accounts and profiles. So let us know if you can't find your course. May I watch the class video again after class? Absolutely. You just have to click on the link that I've already shared on the eClass site, and you can watch all of the recordings. If you subscribe to my channel, then you'll get notifications whenever it is that I go live to host a session. And then when you want to, you know, unsubscribe, you can unsubscribe anytime. Will my teacher make video chats every day? Not likely. That's something you would have to ask your teacher. What's D2l? D2l is the name of the vendor. So they're the company that owns or provides the e-learning site that we use to host our e-learning courses. So I am a non-TCDSB student. Where do I get my user ID and password for D2l? I spoke about that already. Your username is your OEN, and your password would be issued through us once you're registered and all your paperwork is organized and collected. Quite a few questions here. This is fantastic. Can you drop an online course? Yes, you can. Just send us an email. My password and username has been rejected. What should I do? Just send me an email again, but also include your TCDSB username, your OEN number, and the name of your TCDSB day school. If you're a non-TCDSB student, just send us the OEN number, okay? Where do we do the eClass exam? So grade 12 university level exams are going to be held at the Catholic Education Center at 80 Shepherd Avenue East. And again, that would be, you know, our Toronto Catholic Board board office. And if you're in session 1, it would be Friday, July the 27th. If you're in session 2, it would be Friday, August the 10th. Okay. I can't follow a link to a Dropbox in my e-course on a Mac. Is there a way to fix this or a support line? There absolutely is. So I'm going to go back to the e-learning site. I'm going to click on the home page, which is the first page that you see when you log in. And then you'll notice there's an icon here in the navigation bar. That icon is called D2l Live Support. And if you click on that icon, it'll take you to the possibilities in connecting with D2l and asking them for support around why you're not able to access or if you're having technical difficulties. So they have 3 options. They've got the live chat, the email, or you can give them a call. Okay. Thanks for that question. So I'm just being mindful of time. We got a few more minutes. If you want to switch to session 2, just make that request and send us an email. Include your OEN number and your TCDSB username as well, please. How do you access and submit things into your ePortfolio? That's a good question. So in order to access your ePortfolio, what you can do is you'll notice here, I'll change as student. Let's see what happens. View as student. So you'll notice here that you should be able to, in your profile, find my portfolio. Okay. So if you want to put things into your portfolio, then you'd go to your profile and you'll notice that one of the options there would be My Portfolio, and that's how you would access it and upload your stuff there. Okay? Great question. Just looking at the chat area, I haven't forgotten about the chat area. Lily Star, will there be an exam for civics and careers? It would be online. Yes. Okay. In terms of the other items, Adam, I am still waiting to receive a login password to access eClass. Will I be penalized? Great comment there. So the question was, if you still can't access stuff, what's going to happen in terms of submitting work late? The truth is that and I mentioned this the other day, we are registering students until this Friday. So the expectation is that if students are beginning their course late, that teachers will be accepting assignments, as late as Monday. So it's not of a concern in terms of starting the course late, but if you're having login issues and you're not able to access the course, our goal is to work, as hard as possible to get everybody the access and that they need, and making sure that you can start and be successful. Okay. All right. So I am just looking at the chat area, and okay, just looking at the chat area. We have 2 teachers in our class. Do you have the same thing? So if you've got 2 teachers, it could be because they're co-teaching and co-planning rather. So they're looking at each other's shell, and they're trying to understand what would be the next item or activity, or where they're at in terms of what the content is and just the overall experience. So if you're unclear about that, you can just email both of them and find out, who is the teacher, or you can send me an email and I can find out. Okay, so folks, it is 11:30, and I just wanted to say again a big thank you for making the time to join me today and to participate in this live session. I feel like this is my opportunity to be able to allow you to connect with a face in this virtual learning experience that you've decided to participate in, and we're very grateful and happy to have you. The whole idea around e-learning is that flexibility piece. And so as much as that is a great part of the experience, it equally could be a dangerous part of the experience because you may forget to regularly log in. So to suggest a remedy or strategy, I would basically suggest to log in daily and make sure that if you feel lost or you're not sure where things are going, that you contact your teacher right away, and they will help center you and organize where you're at and remind you of critical dates, and will also provide that opportunity for timely feedback. Okay, and if there's any information that you think you should share with them, then do it, because you're the one that's managing that relationship as well. It's not just one way. All right, folks? All right. So I hope you have a great day, a great weekend, and if there's anything further, you've got my email, and that's all for now. Have a great day.